sounds so funny. Shredded cheddar cheese, shredded cheddar cheese, shredded cheddar cheese. Hola, hola, hola. Vianey Rodriguez here from South Texas, your resident Tex-Mex queen, and I'm so thrilled to have you back. Today we are whipping up a classic Tex-Mex dish that pairs well with an icy cold beer, but even better with a Tex-Mex margarita. Join me in the kitchen and we're gonna whip up some OG nachos. Legend has it that in 1940, Ignacio Anaya was working at the Victory Club. He had a local patron approach him and ask him for something different, a mixed up, different kind of snack to go with his afternoon cocktail. And Ignacio was like, sure, I can whip something up for you. So he walks to the back of the kitchen, goes in, the first thing he sees is a pile of freshly fried corn tortillas. So Ignacio says, no problem, sir, let me whip you up something. So he walks into the back of the kitchen. First thing he spots is a pile of freshly fried corn tortillas. And he thinks to himself, and in that moment, guys, culinary genius strikes and the nachos were born. They're so good. I mean, I serve these at every get-together, every family event. My husband loves them. Let me show you how to make them today. They're so easy. And did you know Nacho is the nickname for Ignacio? So here's to you, Ignacio, for your creative culinary genius. We can never thank you enough for gifting us the nachos. Let's make them, guys. Let's get cooking. So first, we have a skillet. We're gonna put it over medium-high heat. I'm gonna crank this up a little bit. And the base to a great nacho is fried corn tortilla chips. Here's a quick Tex-Mex tip. If you're gonna make nachos, take your corn tortillas out a few days in advance. Let them get a little bit stale, a little harder, and they'll fry up nice and crisp. To my skillet, I'm gonna add some oil because I wanna fry these corn tortillas. If she can open this. Okay, we're gonna add about an inch. We don't need too much, okay? We have it on medium-high heat. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna show you how I like to cut up my corn tortillas. I use my hand because I feel like it gives it more of a little rustic touch. And plus these have been sitting out so they're nice and stale. They're not gonna break. So you see what I did? Cut in half again, and you're left with these great triangles, which will be the base for our toppings. So let's get frying. I've got tongs. I've got my skillet over medium heat. I went ahead and added a platter with some paper towels for our tortilla chips to drain. I also have some salt. Here's another Tex-Mex tip. If you're gonna fry corn tortillas, as soon as they come out of the hot oil, hit them with salt because the salt will instantly stick to the tortilla. I've added about an inch of oil. We don't need too much. And we're gonna give these a quick fry. So we're gonna add them to the pan, but we wanna be sure we don't overcrowd the pan because then the temperature of our oil drops and the tortillas will end up soaking in more of the oil than actually frying. So we're gonna give them a quick little spin in the frying pan, turn them over, and we want them nice and golden brown. And then I'm gonna remove each one. I kinda wanna give it a little shake to remove that excess oil. We're gonna add it to our dish here, and I've lined it with paper towels to soak in the rest of that oil. And then as soon as we have them here, we're gonna hit them with just a little bit of salt. So we're building layers of flavor. You always wanna be building layers of flavor as you go. I'm gonna fry a few more corn tortillas. Remember, don't overcrowd the pan. We don't want soggy chips. We want really nice, crisp chips. If you want to fry a big batch, you can get a bigger Dutch oven, fill it up, or if you have a fryer, I know they sell those relatively cheap, about 2 to 3 inches of oil, and you're able to fry a big batch. That's what I usually do if I'm entertaining or there's a football game on. Okay, we're gonna hit it with our salt, and I'm gonna fry up my last batch, and then I'm gonna show you how to assemble these. And we're gonna finish these off in the oven. So I have my oven preheated about 300. We're just gonna melt the cheese and warm the beans through. So we're not going to do any heavy baking. So I have a baking sheet ready to go. Okay, a little bit of salt. Okay, then we're gonna turn this off and we're gonna move it to the other side of the stove. Do not pour this down the sink. It will splatter, it'll hurt you. So we're gonna move it to the other side of the stove, let it come to room temperature, and then you can either pour it back in your another container to, if you need to fry tortillas again, or if you need to make some migas, you can use that oil. Okay, so here we go. We've got a preheated oven, 300 degrees. We have a baking sheet, and here are the toppings for our OG nachos. We have refried beans, shredded cheddar cheese, and we have pickled jalapenos. We're gonna grab our tortilla chips, add them to our baking sheet. We want one layer. We're not gonna layer over and over. We want filling, we want topping on each tortilla chip, because this is the way Ignacio created these tortilla chips for us, and we're honoring him today. So we're adding our layer of tortilla chips. Then we're gonna come in with our refried beans, and we're just gonna add like about a tablespoon. So if you wanna prep these in advance, you can bake off the tortilla chips, put them in a paper bag, and keep them in a cool, dry place. Don't use store-bought. It just does not taste the same. And once you put the refried beans on the store-bought tortilla chips, they get really soggy. No one likes a soggy nacho. So it just takes a few extra minutes for those special touches. Okay, so I'm almost done here. I've added our refried beans to each tortilla chip. Next step, super easy. We fried some tortilla chips. We've topped them with refried beans. Now we're gonna come in with the stunning cheddar cheese. We're gonna top each one with its own little handful of shredded cheddar cheese. That way when you pull them from the oven, each nacho has its own little gooey, bubbly bits of shredded cheese. Because I hate when you go to a restaurant and you order a plate of nachos and the top has all the filling and then the bottom no tiene nada. There's nothing there. I want each nacho to have a consistent topping to cheese ratio. We're using shredded cheddar cheese because it's an iconic Texas cheese, and Ignacio used shredded cheddar cheese, so we're following his lead in this recipe, and I mean, he did us a great service creating these. Okay, so we've got shredded cheddar cheese. That sounds so funny, shredded cheddar cheese on each nacho, and then we're gonna come back and finish these off with a pickled jalapeno. Each chip will get one pickled jalapeno. So these are store-bought pickled jalapenos. Take them from the jar, strain them, and then we can use them, because we don't want that excess juice to soggy up our chips. Okay, so there you have it, guys. We have our fried tortilla chips, our refried beans, our shredded cheddar cheese, and our pickled jalapeno on the top. Here's a Tex-Mex tip. When you strain the pickled jalapenos from your jar, keep the brine in the fridge, and the next time you make fajita, add some of that pickled brine, jalapeno brine, to your fajita marinade. It's delicious. So now we're ready to go in the oven. Place them in our preheated 300-degree oven, and they won't take very long. We're gonna cook them for about 4 to 5 minutes. We just want the beans to warm through, and we wanna melt that cheese. These nachos that we're making today is honoring Ignacio, the inventor of the nachos, but there's various types of nachos. We have fajita nachos, we have chicken fajita nachos, we have asada nachos. I mean, you name it, we have it. We have a mixture of chile con carne nachos. Then we have their die-hard love, which me too, the die-hard love of Velveeta. So it's Velveeta Rotel sausage that they top their nachos on. But these, if you want to customize them to your family, feel free to add fresh salsa over them. Add some a diced onion, add some sour cream, customize them to what your kids like. And if they're worried about the heat, simply remove the jalapeno. Make half a batch for you and your husband with the jalapeno, the other batch for the kids where they can add sour cream, they can add salsa verde, customize them to your family. So it's been about 5 minutes and I'm gonna check on my nachos. And yup, they're ready to go. They look so good. Look, my gosh. Individually mouthfuls of joy, guys. So I'm gonna platter these up. How perfect is this? Every nacho you pick up has the equal amount of refried beans, shredded cheese, and a pickled jalapeno. I mean, does it get any better than this? So a shout out to the creator of these OG nachos, Ignacio Nacho. We will be forever in your debt for introducing us to nachos, which of course, us Tex-Mex aficionados have continued to up the game in nachos by adding fajitas, chicken fajita, asada, and we continue to push the boundaries. But gotta give respect where respect is due. Ignacio, thank you so much. Here is our platter of OG nachos. And what do you say we give them a try? Here we go. The perfect bite. Tortilla chips, refried beans, shredded cheese, and pickled jalapenos. You can't beat it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Tex-Mex goodness. It's so good.